that sound. That is the sound of an E major chord, first position E major chord on the guitar. It's a big, fat, rich, deep sound that just resonates. And, you know, many times when I pick up a guitar for the first time, that's what I do. I just play this big, fat E chord because it sounds so big. And so what we're going to be talking about in this lesson is how to play a first position E major chord. Now the reason why we call it first position is it's the first place on the neck that we can play the E chord. There are other places on the neck that we can play an E, and today we'll be talking about how to play it in the first position. It's also an open chord, and what that means is that we are using open strings. In other words, we're not fretting anything on these strings, we're playing them in their open position in order to help create the chord. Now the E major chord in its first position is a 6-string chord, so we'll be playing all 6 strings in order to voice this. Alright, so the first thing that you'll want to do is take your second finger and place it on the 2nd fret of the 5th string, and then take your 3rd finger here and place it on the 2nd fret of the 4th string, and then your first finger is going to be placed on the 1st fret of the 3rd string. I'm going to move these other fingers out of the way so you can see where that finger is. I'm actually playing the 1st fret of the 3rd string. And then this bottom string is open and these top 2 strings remain open. If it looks like my pinky is playing something, it's not. It's just tucked up here, and I'm not actually playing any notes with that finger. And so it is a 6-string chord, and sometimes it's helpful to understand the theory behind a chord to know what it is we're actually playing. I'll be perfectly honest with you, you don't have to know the theory behind any of these chords in order to play the guitar. I mean, if you can fret these notes and play these strings, well, you've got an E chord. And but again, like I said, sometimes it's helpful to know that what we're playing. And I find this especially for other instrumentalists that are learning or playing the guitar for the first time, particularly piano players, because an E major chord is comprised of 3 notes, and it only requires 3 notes in order to create the chord. And those notes for the E is E, G sharp, and B. Those are the 3 notes in an E chord. But you might ask, well, if I'm playing 6 strings and I only need 3 notes in order to create an E, well then what are those other notes that I'm playing? And what we're doing essentially or effectively by playing all 6 strings and fretting the notes in this position is we are doubling some of the notes in that chord, and it's creating a bigger or a fuller sound. And that's one of the cool things about the guitar, and also one of the cool things about this particular chord is it sounds really big. And one of the reasons why is we're doubling the E, or we're actually playing 3 E's in this chord. And just to give you an idea of what that looks like, the notes that we're playing are E down here. This is the open big E on the bottom on this 6th string. And then there's a B. And then next we have another E, so that's our first repeated note. There's our G sharp. This open string here is a B, and then we have, so that's a doubled note, and then we have another E on the top. Alright, yeah, so that's the E chord, and you know, by learning it, it's not, I don't know if you're going to automatically be teleported into rock and roll stardom, but you know, sometimes when I play the E chord, I feel like a rock star, because that's definitely a rock star chord. That's cool. Yeah, so practice your guitar, and you know, seek out one-on-one lessons. If you're really serious about learning the guitar, nothing beats private instruction. Check out some of our other videos on destinyguitar.com in the meantime, and you know, have a lot of fun practicing this E chord.